In their minds, Hillary is the one person in America who's standing up for black people. Whether, you're making fun of Verrett or making fun of Hillary Clinton, like the move is always to say, like, when you're making fun of this incredibly powerful and like a woman who's been, at the centers of American power, like for decades now, if you're making fun of her, what you're really doing is making fun of marginalized groups.
Yeah.
They do it with they did it with us constantly.
Obviously.
The thing that just will always baffle me about that is like these people were all alive adults in 2008 when she ran the white nationalist dog whistle campaign they accused Bernie of. To the fucking letter that her campaign released the African garb picture. She talked about how she resonated more with hardworking Americans.
She did the white working class shit in 2008.
She absolutely did. She did the white working class thing to the fucking letter. Everything they said about Bernie's campaign was 100% what actually happened with her campain 8 years ago.
And wait, she didn't drop out.
She didn't drop out either.
Because she said, well, what if someone kills Obama?
Yes! No. Okay, let's talk about her book now, because people, you've seen like screen caps of this, like excerpts of the book are being released, and the thing that people are glomming onto is that she, in her own words, I'm assuming, or the words of a ghostwriter, is using this book to exonerate herself and blame everyone else for what happened in the 2016 election. And the things that people are picking up mostly on is her blaming Bernie Sanders for, in her words, paving the, laying the foundation for Donald's crooked Hillary campaign.
It wasn't her entire career of being incredibly corrupt.
But it's not like,
what was it called when you went to his fucking wedding?
But like, and then she mentions the fact that he stayed in the race, and like when she should have been uniting progressives, she did the exact same thing to Obama in 2008 and held out to the very bitter end. Still attacking him, by the way.
She threatened to fucking walk away with her delegates if he didn't make her Secretary of State, and she paid him back by turning Libya into the fucking caliphate. You fucking piece of shit.
No, it's incredible. And Virgil, you in the other day when what's his name, Judd Legume?
Yeah, Judd Peanut,
who was like, you said that everyone who surrounds Clinton is a spectacular failure and moron.
Yeah,
and he piped up to say, hey, they're all different people, buddy. and your buddies, well, they're all spectacularly moronic in different ways. But then, like, was it Crushing Bort and Libby Watson were both like, you were Hillary's research director. Or like her comms,
which I totally forgot about. I had no idea.
Like, did you come up with the Obama and Muslim
right?
Guard?
And he said, Judd Peanut said, no, of course we didn't do that. It was not something from the campaign. And Libby, I believe, said, wait, so Blumenthal isn't a member of the campaign? And Peanut replied with, I'm going in a tunnel right now.
my monocle fell out. I got to get it out of the sewer.
And one of the verified facts the other day was Bernie Sanders and his voters directly were responsible for putting Donald Trump in the White House because 13% of them voted for Trump in the general. 25% of Hillary's voters voted for McCain in 2008, and Obama still won in a landslide. And
so 13% rather staggering that he won in such a landslide.
Yeah, he won. That didn't hurt Obama then because maybe he campaigned in the right fucking states. Also,
no, I mean, racism hurt Obama, but he still won by a large margin.
Racism hurt Obama, as I'm sure sexism and misogyny hurt Hillary Clinton on some level.
Yeah, and prejudice against cool guys hurt Donald Trump. He still won.
But let me go to this book now, because Matt alluded to it earlier, where she's talking about Facebook memes. So this does go to the point that she is something of a. Okay, so this is
the meme part is so funny because it's just like that's how idiots think. Idiots think in things like this.
Okay, this is from Hillary's book. She says, Jake Sullivan, my top policy advisor, told me it reminded him.
Who's also probably a really competent, smart guy,
genius.
He said, with his head stuck in a pickle jar.
My top policy advisor told me it reminded him of a scene from the 1998 movie There's Something About Mary. He's referring to the fact that Bernie was to her left on every policy issue, but which she regards as unfair. or cheating in some way, or like he's lying. She's like, well, we agreed on everything, just the specifics. And so he goes,
Having policies is cheating.
A deranged hitchhiker says he's come up with a brilliant plan. Instead of the famous 8-minute abs exercise routine, he's going to market 7-minute ads. It's the same, just quicker. Then the driver, played by Ben Stiller, says, well, why not 6-minute abs? That's what it was like in policy debates with Bernie. We would propose a bold infrastructure investment plan or an ambitious new apprenticeship program. An apprenticeship program. Jeez. Bernie wanted to free state college tuition for, and she's like, we are so the same. He was offering free college. I was offering an apprenticeship program.
Picture this.
And if you like your blacksmith, you can keep him.
Picture this: internships, but we're gonna call them apprenticeships.
No, but he says on issue
free tuition if you became an entrepreneur.
On issue after issue, it was like he kept proposing 4-minute abs or even a no-minute abs, magic abs. Someone sent me a Facebook post that summed up the dynamic in which we were caught. Here's the Facebook meme. Bernie, I think America should get a pony. Hillary, how will you pay for the pony? Where will the pony come from? How will you get Congress to agree to the pony? Bernie, Hillary thinks America doesn't deserve a pony. Bernie supporters, Hillary hates ponies. Hillary, actually, I love ponies. Bernie supporters, she changed her positions on ponies. Which Hillary? Hashtag which Hillary? Headline, which spelled W-I-T-C-H. Headline, Hillary refuses to give every American a pony. Debate moderator, Hillary, how do you feel when people say you lie about ponies? So yeah, this is the way
Bernie. I'm crazy. I think that everything should be free, but also everyone should give me money for some reason.
Here's another section that I think is more substantial in terms of like how Hillary thinks about herself politically and this.
Well, one thing we do know from the other one is that she thinks that healthcare, which literally is the difference between life and death for millions of Americans, is like a pony, like a fun little, a fun indulgence for your spoiled brat kid.
Right. So here's what she says. She says, but because we agreed on so much, Bernie couldn't make an argument against me in this area on policy, so he had to resort to innuendo and impugning my character. Some of his supporters, the so-called Bernie bros, took to harassing my supporters online. It got ugly and more than a little sexist. When I finally challenged Bernie during a debate to name a single time I changed position or a vote because of financial contribution, he couldn't come up with anything. Nonetheless, his attacks caused lasting damage, making it harder to unify progressives in the general election and paving the way for Trump's crooked Hillary campaign. I don't know if that bothered Bernie or not. He certainly shared my horror at the thought of Donald Trump becoming president, and I appreciated that he campaigned for me in the general election. But he isn't a Democrat. That's not a smear. That's what he says. He didn't get into the race to make sure a Democrat won the White House. He got in to disrupt the Democratic Party. How about a Democrat probably won't win the White House unless the party gets disrupted? But she says, he was right that Democrats needed to strengthen our focus on working families and that there's always a danger of our insane campaign finance system. He also engaged a lot of young people in the political process for the first time, which is extremely important. But I think he was fundamentally wrong about the Democratic Party. So he's saying that like she in no way was her votes or behavior influenced by financial contribution, but our campaign finance system is insane and dangerous.
And no young people are ever joining, and but also everything's fine.
So what her campaign did just destroy the long-standing Democratic critique of the campaign finance system, because she would say, we need to get a constitutional amendment to end Citizens United. And then in the next breath, she'd say, I didn't change any of my opinions because of any money I got. Well, then why do you need to do that?
But
what's wrong with Citizens United then?
But I took all that money from Wall Street to help them rebuild after 9/11.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Well, how the fuck could you say that out loud? How could she say any of this out loud? It's like if any normal person ran that campaign for 2 years and said all those things and looked back and saw themselves say that, they would just fucking go away forever. But this asshole doesn't want to just leave us alone. She's plopping her shitty fucking book on the world and her dumb fuck kid. We can't get rid of them.
But because that's the thing. Like, I don't want to relitigate the 2016 primaries. It's the boringest topic.
It'll never end.
It'll never end. Meaningless topic. Who gives a shit? Who fucking cares? It doesn't mean anything. Hillary is a fucking fossil. She has no influence. But holy shit. if this whole thing is anything more than her just trying to like predetermine what her gravestone's going to look like, if she's actually trying to remain a relevant force in politics, then this is incredibly dangerous because her whole thing is just poisonous and just creepily cult-like and totally disconnected from anybody's actual needs or the needs or aspirations of regular people. It's all just a personal vendetta against everyone who ever stopped her from what she thought to be her birthright.
And because she's never been consistent on anything for more than a fucking 18-month period, her, like, the small band of people who really, really love her and will hang on her every word, that means that they're not loyal to any policy. And then when she finally just dies of fucking rickets, they're not going to go forward with any policy agenda, because if she dropped dead, how would they say they're carrying on her legacy? What policy? People say identity politics. What identity politics did she do? Except for like maybe once or twice be like, you know, Beyonce is great. Tweet that. She didn't fucking believe in anything. Everyone points to her fucking website where it's like, oh, you could read 500 pages about how she wanted to, cut out interest payments for student loans if means-tested students would breakdance for her. But
or have a $12 minimum wage in some states and a $15 minimum wage in others.
But that's not what those people liked about her. They just liked her fucking grievance-based fucking existence.
Well, building off something Matt said,